Chris Watkin back again with Paul Clarke from Mr. and Mrs. Clarke, the estate agency self-employed model. Paul, talk to me about the importance of personal branding in estate agency. Talk to me.
So I think there's two parts to it. I think there is a massive importance, in my opinion, there's a massive importance of a brand, of a brokerage brand, be it an estate agent, so an estate, so the Mr. and Mrs. Clarke brand, or the Knight Frank brand, or whichever other agencies we can think of, the brand. I think there's a huge importance in
the logo.
It's beyond the logo. It's what's behind the logo. The logo is a logo for a business is incredibly important. You know, the typeface you use, of how it looks, the color, but it's what's behind that logo, the tone of voice, the imagery that's used in a brand, the story of a brand. So, in
essence, what people say about you when you're not in the room.
Absolutely, and the strength of that story is really helpful when it comes to personal branding. So we find our agents, it's almost made easier for them locally. The business to get their name out in a local area where they might not have been heard about, or the brand hasn't been heard about, it's easier when they're able to say, look at our website, look at all the PR that we have got, look at all the homes we have sold as a brand. There's strength in a collective company. And then that backed up by somebody's personal brand. And we've all got personal brands. We've all got them. And like it or
just
or
reputation. I hate the phrase. I don't like the phrase personal branding. I use it because that's what people use.
Of course. People think of us what they will think of us. And
reputation, aka personal branding.
Absolutely. And you need to, if you're running a business, you need to be a cheerleader at the front.
But why do we not see many estate agents out there pushing their personal brand? Because I find that it's a paradox that they all want their name across the bloody door, and they have for sale boards everywhere. But as soon as you start saying, right, let's start doing some personal content on social media, it doesn't necessarily even have to be video. It could be podcast. What's holding them back? I mean, if you don't mind me saying, personally, you're not particularly good at it yourself.
I'm not. And do you know what? You just talking about it here, I have my chest is feeling tight.
I'll give you that.
I'm feeling tense just talking about it. I think there is a...
this is our fourth video of the day.
Yeah.
This particular subject is making you feel tense? Or just being...
Yeah, the getting yourself out. So all people in business, getting your personal brand out and your personality out is... And I'm confident, and I love talking to people, but it's a scary thing. You're putting I'm putting myself right at the front, and all the other people have sat here, and all the people in business who sort of do podcasts, and I think everyone. You feel anxious doing it, and I have conversations all the time with our guys and other people in businesses, especially so my wife Alex, she wouldn't do this kind of thing. She's incredible. She's an incredible businesswoman and uber confident in so many walks of life, and generates a lot of business. She's set up businesses, sold businesses, super successful, but very quietly in the background. The thought of for her to sit here in front of you and talk to you, it would be crippling. It would be very, very difficult. And I talk to a lot of, particularly...
Why do you think that is the case?
Well, I think there's a fear of failure. So I think there's a perception. What are your viewers going to think of me? They might think I'm an absolute... And we all want validation to be liked.
But why should we allow the opinion of others to affect our own life?
We shouldn't. And we shouldn't, but I think it's natural. And I think, and also that social media has not helped. And you go onto LinkedIn, there's not nice things said about people all the time. I think as an industry, and I love what certain people are doing in the industry to champion others, we should be championing others all the time. Saying well done, saying that looks good, you know, or congratulating, even in private. You don't have to put it on social media. I try really hard a couple of times a week to drop people personal emails just saying, do you know what, I really liked your post about that. I've never met you, but well done. And I think to try and build each other's confidences. And the same, not just in an agency. So there's a girl who's just set a little deli up in Leamington Spa. And she's, you know, really pushing herself out, personal brand, really pushing herself out. And it's a family business. And I've made an effort to drop her an email and say, congratulations, I really love it.
What's she chucking out though? Because it's all very good. You could push out loads of videos just talking about yourself all the time and how awesome you are.
So she's taught, which is quite, so this is where I think personal branding, this is where maybe in the estate agency industry, we can learn a lot from other industries. And she's a tiny example, but done very well in her little business. So she is pushing out the quality of her food, the atmosphere in her food, how she's helping the community. And that's interesting.
Now that's interesting.
Yeah.
Helping the community. Because nobody, personal branding is something which I'm very passionate about, and I actually mentor a lot of people on it. And I think the biggest thing, we're turning the tables now, aren't we? The biggest thing, if people are saying, I want to push out my personal brand, I don't like the word push, because no one wants to feel imposed on. But talking about yourself and your firm and your services on video, which could be seen as personal branding, is not going to work as well as you going out there saying, what can I do out there to help people?
And
okay,
I think,
so if she had like, you know, a deli and she had like this special like quince paste in, she could probably do some recipes of, this is what I would do with quince paste, not, hi, I've got some quince paste, come and buy it off me.
And absolutely. And again, it's that transactional nature of the marketing within a estate agency that I've sold this house, I've sold it this quickly.
Exchanged.
Exchange completed, under offer.
You might as well just say, I've only posted this because I'm getting paid on it. Why did you keep banging? And then don't even get me talking about writing pie charts.
Totally. So, but the ones who are people who are building their reputation up well in the self-employed world are talking about their journey of selling a home, helping a client.
The story, I agree.
And I'm far more interested in that in any industry, looking at what's behind the scenes. What are you doing? I want to learn about business, and I want to learn how. So this lady who runs the deli,
boys and girls, just tell the story of, you know, of people. I mean, it's interesting. Tony Ruby, very well-known estate agent in EXP, posted a story of when he on his first exchange, and he got his family around the for sale board. He had 20 shares on Facebook. Lovely. 20 shares. Lovely. What's an agent just whack the word exchange on it? You might as well just be waving your willy around again.
It's I think there's better, so this idea of, and I don't think it all has to be on social media, and I don't think personal branding or personal reputation has to be, you know, plastering videos and messages constantly on social media. I think there's actually more analog ways of doing it, of in the local community.
I think the magic thing is that you've got to go where the people's eyeballs are. A lot of it's on this mobile phone, but there are other platforms like real life to life.
Real life. So I've got 2 young children, and which has opened the world up to me of other people, of meeting new friends, of making new connections within my local community. And it's quite interesting. They all know about Mr. and Mrs. Clarke, because where we live, we have built a very good reputation up. So and then when they meet the person, hopefully they're not just mocking me. Yeah, you're nice. Oh, I like your brand. I like the company. I like how that. You need to talk to people. I think there's a
talk to them about what though?
About what you do. So
does anyone care?
Absolutely. Well, everyone cares about their house.
So that's different. That's different. You can't. There's a difference. There's a difference between talking about yourself and talking about the home.
So I think the amount of conversations I've had over the last 5 years about estate agents is quite fun. So, oh God, you're an estate agent. I'm like, yeah, I'm an estate agent. Yes, I admit it. I'm an estate agent. And then it's, oh God, I had this bad experience. Oh, I had this experience. Everyone's got a story about estate agents. And then just how you asked me, you know, what's your USP? What's your story? And then you tell them, you know, this is how we do it. This is how we photograph a home and all this kind of sort of all of those.
What,
bit.
so almost like taking, someone's doing a video tour or photographer, you should be taking photographs of the video tour, so, oh, bloody hell, waiting for the sunset.
All of those, I think that story, and it's interesting. So if you're a business, so this kind of thing on LinkedIn is quite interesting to other business owners, but to the consumers, you know, it needs to be on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, and also really positive. I think this comes back to me talking earlier when I get a bit personal. I think put good stuff out, put nice, positive content out there. Don't, I get really worried for
But
people.
about what? Positive about what? The agency and how awesome they are?
So let me flip that slightly on its head. That
I'm being a bit naughty
no,
there.
no, no. I know you are, and it's great. Don't come out of evaluation, sit in the car, and you know you've seen all of the people sit in their car and do a video about when somebody wants 100 grand over the asking price for their house. This is what I say, and you think, oh, that's not building trust up with clients. You don't have to say everything. You know, say positive. So positive. We don't. That story does that. That story can stay in your head. Talk about a photo shoot. Talking about how you've styled a house. Talk about how you helped someone buy. Talk about a good conversation about someone moving from London to Grantham because
It's brilliant, central to the universe.
yeah, it's fabulous.
I think the important thing is, boys and girls, because again, personal branding is a specialisation of mine, is this: just go out there and try and help people. Give them great stories, give them great information, educate them, entertain them, put a smile on their face, teach them stuff, be a font of all knowledge, and you'll win. I mean, why the hell do you think I do with these videos?
But even then, I just to sort of, and that makes some people really nervous. And I think this mentorship and as part of a group, I know, but there's brilliant stuff in the industry of mentoring, and big companies should be helping each other do it. Give people the confidence to do it. Say well done when someone puts a video out. Actually go out of your way to say that was really good. And that builds confidence. And then the industry will get better because the consumer, the house seller, the buyer will go, do you know what? Estate agents are pretty cool. And trust builds up, likability builds up. The industry gets liked more within.
Thank you for your time today, Paul.
My pleasure.